Texas just got a commitment from Arch Manning, the nephew of NFL greats and Super Bowl champions Peyton and Eli Manning, grandson of former second overall pick Archie Manning and of Cooper Manning. And he is regarded essentially as the perfect prospect. And he's going to go play for Steve Sarkisian down at Texas. But is there too much hype for Arch Manning? We're going to talk about it right after the bumper. Stay tuned. What is good people? What is good people? My name is JeffLightsyJr, Boss Channel and Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, notification bell, because we upload every single day. Now, Arch Manning, like I said, the nephew of Peyton and Eli Manning, Super Bowl champions, former number one overall picks, and Peyton's a future Hall of Famer, and Eli, he's probably going to be a future Hall of Famer. Grandson of Archie Manning, that's where he gets his name, Arch. Archie Manning was a number 2 overall pick in the NFL draft and is the son of Cooper Manning, Peyton and Eli's brother. He is the number 1 overall prospect, according to every site, but, we use 247 over here. And he's only the third, I think, player in the history of 247 with a perfect prospect ranking. Only 2 other prospects have gotten that. One was Vince Young. It worked out pretty well for him. The second was Quinn Ewers, who, Vince Young played at Texas, and Quinn Ewers is currently the quarterback at Texas. And Arch Manning committed to Texas. So, what does all of this mean? Well, one, Arch is getting a crazy response on social media. And honestly, it's a bit much. It is a bit much, and I don't know. Now, granted, I could be wrong, but I think it is too much for this young man to try and have to live up to all of these expectations. When your dad, or when your uncles are Peyton and Eli Manning, when your grandfather is Archie Manning, and when your last name is Manning, it's a lot. It's a lot to handle. And there's so many expectations already. I mean, look at this graphic that was put out by the official Twitter account of the NFL. You can't tell me this isn't a lot of pressure. Let me share this screen. And it says Arch has next. Obviously, you got Peyton, who went to Tennessee, number 1 overall pick. Eli, who went to Ole Miss, number 1 overall pick, 2-time Super Bowl champion. And now you have this graphic with Arch, who was the number 1 high school prospect. And what they're essentially saying is he's going to be the next number 1 overall pick. And this is tweeted out by the official NFL account. Arch has next. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure. The fact that 247 has him as a perfect prospect. Let's go to his 247 account. And there's other reasons. And here's the thing. I'm not trying to disparage the young man because he is a really good quarterback. But this is a bit much. 4-7 composite, number 1 across the board. He goes to Newman High School in New Orleans. 6'4", 215, great size, has a nice arm. But I'm going to be honest with you. There's 2 quarterbacks in the same class that I think is better than Arch Manning. Now, this is not to say that Arch Manning isn't a good player, and this isn't to say that Arch Manning won't go on to be the best quarterback out of the 3 guys that I'm talking about. But in the same class, at the number 2 spot, let me go ahead and go to, is a young man by the name of Malachi Nelson, who was committed to USC, 6'3", 180. I think, and others think he is a better pure passer with a stronger arm than Arch Manning. And then right here at number 4 is a young Long Beach Poly that goes by the name of Nico. They have him 6'5", 195. On his own thing, he has 6'6", 200. He's going to Tennessee. I think Nico is the best quarterback in this entire class. And he's going on to win several awards throughout the off seasons that kind of back me up in that saying. And when you watch him sling the rock, oh my God. Same with Malachi Nelson. When you watch Malachi and Nico swing the rock, they kind of jump off the screen. First of all, Nico jumps off the screen because he's huge. He's 6'6". He's a big kid with a big, strong arm. Malachi Nelson, the ball just pops out of his hand when he throws the ball. And he's going to go play for Lincoln Riley and USC. And we know what Lincoln Riley does with quarterbacks. Nico's going to Tennessee. He's taking a little bit more of a risk going to play for Tennessee, who hasn't had the tradition of churning out quarterbacks, who's had a tradition of losing a lot of coaches. But, he could be the stabilizing UT and get them going in the right direction. Malachi, I have no doubts in my mind he's going to be successful at USC. One, he's from Los Angeles. Two, he's going to go play with Lincoln Riley. And look at Lincoln Riley's history and track record with top-ranked quarterbacks in his system. Kyler Murray, number 1 overall pick. Baker Mayfield, number 1 overall pick. He wasn't a top-ranked quarterback, but Lincoln was able to get him to project to a number 1 overall pick. I can't think of it. He's the starting quarterback. Jalen Hurts, 2nd-round pick. And when no one thought he could throw the ball at all, Lincoln Riley helped turn him into a 2nd-round pick and a starting quarterback in the NFL. Caleb Williams is going to project as a 1st-round pick. Hell, even Spencer Rattler, who was a top-ranked quarterback, had a great freshman year under Lincoln Riley. Now, he came, he kind of, came back. He wasn't as great last year, but he has a winning record and a great stat line at Oklahoma was still absurd. It was insane. And so I have no doubt in my mind Malachi Nelson will do the same thing at USC in his hometown for Lincoln Riley. Now, once again, this is not disparaging Arch, but the question is there too much hype around Arch simply because his last name is Manning? I'm not saying he's not a great quarterback. He's not a great prospect, but a perfect prospect rating? I've seen Arch play. He has the 3rd strongest arm out of these 3 quarterbacks alone. 3rd strongest arm. He's not, Malachi is more athletic. Nico is more athletic, even though Arch is athletic. And Malachi and Nico throw prettier balls. And so how is it? Now, don't get me wrong. Malachi's ranking's pretty freaking high too. And so is Nico's. But for him to get a perfect quarterback rating, I think it's more of the last name as opposed to what the tape shows. And that Texas is so desperate. Texas and their fan base are so desperate to be back. Texas is back. That if this Quinn Ewers thing, who was also a perfect prospect, if the Quinn Ewers thing doesn't work, it's going to be an insurmountable amount of pressure on Arch. There is already a bunch of simply because his last name is Manning and because all the recruiting services have him as a perfect prospect. When I don't think that's fair, because I don't think anyone's a perfect prospect. It's pretty hard, and I don't think Arch is the perfect prospect. But if this Quinn Ewers thing doesn't work, the pressure on Arch is just way too much. There's too much hype. He's trending on all the social medias. If you type in Arch Manning right now, he's on ESPN, he's on Fox News, he's on Fox Sports, he's everywhere. Now, I think he could go to Texas with Sarkisian. What Sarkisian was able to do at Alabama with Mac Jones, and what Sarkisian has been able to do throughout his entire career, working with quarterbacks, working with offenses, from Matt Leinart to Mac Jones and so on and so forth and everything in between, he could have a really, really, really productive and successful college career. I just think there's a lot of hype. I think we need to pump the brakes a little bit on Arch Manning and allow him to get to Texas, allow him to get into the system, get acclimated, and allow him to grow as a prospect and to grow as a potential future high 1st-round pick 4 years from now. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below on Arch Manning. Is there too much hype behind this young man? Because his last Manning, my say is yes. But when you're born with those kind of genes and you're born with highly successful people in your family, it's kind of what comes with the territory. I just think we should slow our rolls a little bit and allow him to grow and develop. Because the thing is, if Quinn Ewers is what you think if Quinn Ewers is what the Texas faithful wants him to be, and if he lives up to that perfect rating, because once again, just like Arch, he had a perfect rating, then Arch won't even play his freshman year. And I think that'll be best for him. If Quinn Ewers goes down there in Texas, balls out, Arch won't play his entire freshman year. He'll come in as a sophomore and finally get to play. And that's the best scenario for him. Worst case scenario is Quinn Ewers stinks up the joint this year, and people are banging the gavel to get Arch on the field as soon as possible. So we'll have to wait and see. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, my name is JeffLightsYjr with the Black Boss channel in Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. You can follow me on Twitter and it's at JLightsy7. That's Twitter, Instagram at JLightsy7. I will see you next time. Peace.